going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to the Sav Show. My name is Savilian, and today I'm bringing you a very, very special guest. Today, I am bringing you none other than Burn City's razor tongue himself, O1 Eka. A young man that came onto the podcast very recently. He's been in my life. We've had a bit of a relationship now for the last, say, 12 months or so. And yeah, it's developed nicely. You know, we get along really well. We have very similar views on a lot of things. You know, we're both into philosophy. We're both into martial arts. We're both obviously into the rap game. And he has a new album coming out on the 30th of July called Iron Garden. And ahead of that, I just wanted to get him onto the podcast and just chat about, you know, what he's been up to, his rise, his development. Speaking of, he just put out a song called Rise in a lead up to the drop of the album. And yeah, basically just wanted to get the young slick spitter on and just talk about, you know, how he sees things, how he's been moving, you know, some of his plans and processes, the way that he gets up in the morning and writes every morning at 6 a.m., the fact that he's, you know, went and done the In Our Arms EP with the bros over in Melbourne there, the head-to-head EP, you know, just kind of getting all these underground, you know, Melbourne voices and names on these projects and working with some really cool young cats and just doing cool things, honestly. Yeah, I just really wanted to get him on the podcast, have a chat to him, see if we can get onto some philosophical tangents, which we end up doing, of course. And yeah, just talk about where he's at, what he's up to, and what he plans to do for the rest of this year and for this album rollout and, you know, for the rest, you know, just going forward. We talk about martial arts. We talk about, you know, our love for it. We kind of get a bit caught up in that, as you'll see. But, you know, it was really good to chat to him. It was really good to break it down. It was really good to, you know, dive into some of these things. So anyway, guys, his album comes out, as I said, Iron Garden, 30th of July, and I believe the album launch will be on the 4th of August. So keep your peepers peeped, your eyes peeled. I will link everything below, of course. And in the meantime, go check out O1 Eka, young bro, doing really cool things. Yeah, but if you enjoy this podcast, if you enjoy this conversation, please hit that like button, drop us a comment, and go follow along on the journey of O1 Eka and Sav Show, People's Champ. But yeah, here's my conversation with O1 Eka, Burn City's razor tongue. Let's go. I can't wait to get back and just like, because my goal when I move back is to set up a podcast studio in my apartment in Richmond. So it's going to be, yeah, I won't have to deal with any of this stuff.
That's dope.
I want people to walk in and just sit down, look good, sound good, feel good, you know, and we just chat, you know?
Yeah.
Anyway,
100%.
how are you going? How's your day been?
Good, man. So checking in. I'm in my dad's studio right now to record this, which is why I got the double bass there.
Yeah, fuck yeah.
So I'm on his rig.
Yeah.
Driving his rig. So
yeah.
I'm
Shout
a little
out,
bit.
Pops.
Yeah, shout out Pops, exactly. So I'm a little bit out of my zone. I don't spend time here, you know what I mean? Because I couldn't get the laptop updated in time, bro, and I was wigging out. It's one of those things. It's on the list, and it's like, So this was my problem solving. So, but I'm gonna, just try and stay really present. I'm really excited for our chat today. Yeah. Can't wait to get into it, bro.
Yeah. Oh, we're already into it.
O1 and Sav. They have no idea, cunt. Can I swear?
You can say whatever the fuck you want. It's so funny.
Oh, we're on.
Samad, because I go to Samad, I asked him some question about, he was talking about what makes a good fighter. And he's like talking about like the perfect recipe. He's like, you know, skills and, you know, you got to have, you know, different, he's listing all these things. And then he goes, can I swear on this? Or like, what can I say on this? And I'm like, mate, you can say whatever the fuck you want. He goes, you got to have some cunt in ya.
You got to have music. That's gold.
And I'm like, yeah, bro, now we're talking. All right. Yeah. All right. So you're feeling a bit out of your depth, at least in the studio there. At least I can make you a little comfortable. So
you made me a little comfortable. You made me feel comfortable. I'm G'd, man. I'm G'd. I'm in a good spot. A lot of pages have turned for me in interesting ways, in ways that have been predicted for a long time, and I'm finally seeing them through, and that's important. So, I'm loving it. Rise dropped, the video dropped the other day.
How's the response been?
Oh, good, man. Like the amount of viewership has been small, but the amount of engagement has been large. So that's a good ratio, right?
I did see the engagement really high, especially like on YouTube as well. Like, not just Instagram, but it's like, you know, everywhere you're getting a bit of love. So that's good to see.
Thanks, man. Yeah. And I think like that's scalable too when you have that problem.
Yeah.
So in terms of not a large amount of numbers. So
Totally.
I've got a few little sneaky things in the idea bank to roll out and get some people talking, poke the bear a little bit.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
What, you taking shots?
Yeah, taking not even shots, just taking the piss, man. Like the fact that doing something like that is illegal is hilarious. You know,
that was illegal.
Like, no. I mean, well, yeah. 100%. Well, that's the thing, bro. I spoke about it on Maloney's podcast, and it's like, I'm going to have to just like say it. I have to talk about it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it is what it is.
Yeah.
Hypothetically illegal. But it's wild, man. It's like, you know, that property, the Nilex silo, was sold on and off from like Chinese developer to young rich kid to Chinese developer, and they all talked about how they're going to, you know, they set it on fire every fucking 2 years. Trying to burn the place down, and it's filled with asbestos, so it never burns to the ground. So it's like this prime piece of real estate that's just falling to pieces, and they have a security guard there 24 hours a day, just watching over for fucking little 16-year-olds that are trying to climb to the top or riders.
Tagging.
Yeah. So it's like, you know, and this isn't my passionate political issue, but I'm just saying, like, it's like, fuck them. Like,
yeah. This is your stand.
Yeah, bro. Fuck them.
Yeah. And then just to fucking rub it in even more, you get up there, you do a bunch of chin-ups.
That's right. Yes, sir. Copy that. Roger that. You should see the B-roll. The B-roll's me shadow boxing and handstands and shit.
Yeah, you didn't get up there and just hang out. You got up there and
I put some work in. Yeah.
Yeah, that's hectic. No, that's cool.
It's on my schedule.
Yeah. How long ago did you shoot it?
We shot it maybe 2 months ago, so it's been a fair dinkum part of editing. Yeah.
And you done the edit all yourself?
Yes, sir. Yeah, directed and edited by me on Premiere, some fucking shit version from 100 years ago.
Yeah.
It's so fucked that I can only work on one project at a time, so I couldn't put out any content while I'm working on that project because I'll just auto save over my shit. So it's fucked.
Yeah,
had to relearn iMovie and like, you know, figure out other ways of making it happen.
Yeah. So have you done stuff like that before? Like you've gone into editing software and done some video stuff before?
Yes, sir. Yeah. I did a bunch of videos that I never dropped, but all the music videos that are out that aren't explicitly edited by somebody else are edited by me. So it's either, I think so far, I've only worked with Tomice and Flynn Made It. I could totally be wrong. And Nothing Feels Good for the recent Barra drop. But most of the stuff I put out in the early days was me editing.
Who did the you know that video with God, I'm sad sob
Rangers RC?
Yeah. That the video with the car and the fire and that.
Yeah,
who did
that's
that?
Tomice.
Bro, that's a really good video.
Banger. In Our Arms, banger tape, and that track is called Dirt on My Name. And
Dirt on My Name, that's it. Yeah. Yeah, that video is great. It's moody. It's like cinematic. It's Hollywood. You know, you're rocking the leather jacket. You're walking in there, slicking your hair. You fucking, you know, you this, that, and yeah. It's got some very, it's very gangster, and it's well like acted as well. Like the whole thing is great. You know, the scene in the bathroom. It's like
Crosley with the hair and
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah.
Who's writing all that? Who's coming up with all those ideas? Is that all of you guys together or?
Yeah, man, it's all of us together. And Tomice has got a great creative eye, and so we've always worked really well together.
Who's Tomice? Sorry.
So Tomice is the videographer.
Okay.
So you can find him at like Tom ISE on everything, and he tours with metal bands. So that's kind of what he's doing live event photography.
Right.
But yeah, me and Rangers, we basically storyboarded it together, and you know, that scene in the bathroom with the black ink, like we had to make that.
Yeah.
So I'm driving around in that classic whip with a tub of like black goo, know, all fucking week, like cooking it up. And like, then we've gone to the public bathroom. I don't know if it's Swanston Street. It's like one of the classic like public bathrooms in the city, and just going down there, people are coming in and out, and where they're like filming some morbid scene.
Surprised he didn't get the cops called.
Dude.
Yeah.
Dude, so we went down. I don't know if anyone knows. You know when you're passing on I think it might be the M1 or the M2, but you've got the big yellow French fries sticking out on the highway, right underneath.
Yep. That's a great spot. I love it.
Yeah,
there.
dude. So many videos, especially because that bridge is about. That bridge is about to come up.
Yeah.
There. And so that's kind of like Flemington, Brunswick West kind of area. And underneath there, you can actually get onto that sewerage way. Here I go again, talking about places that you can and can't go. You can get onto that sewerage way, and it's
you got to quit snitching on yourself. It's like
straight up, bro. But I say it because we were trying to drive like my car onto that fucking causeway and into the sewerage, like big
fully get down there.
Area.
I know where, bro. I used to ride during COVID. I actually lived in Parkville. So I would actually ride up and down those sewerage ways for like miles or kilometers. Like I would just spend kilometers.
It's not sewerage. It's
whatever it is.
We should say that, right? Like we're not grotty cunts. Like it is. I think it's a river.
And there's almost like a tiny bit of water right in the middle. It's like for the most part, it's dry. Yeah.
Yeah. Cement.
Yeah. So you're trying to get down in there.
Right, to park the car down there, bro. Right. And because we were going to do the scene there with the gasoline and the fire, but we thought people were actually going to think that I was like burning some red hot wick.
Yeah.
Because there's all these apartment buildings and shit. So,
of course.
We had to go further out. So I thought the police were going to be called for that, but no cops.
No cops, dope. Because that place is very central and very, like, there's a lot of different vantage points to see into there. So it's kind of in the middle of a lot of stuff. Man, I love that area. I like it's gonna always hold such a very sentimental spot in my heart as well, because that's where I first moved to Melbourne. Was in that area, and kind of went through the first year of lockdown in that area. So always gonna love it. All right, I'm talking about that tape. I was going to get to it later, but might as well touch on it now. So you guys kind of got together, and who was it? Kind of like, did it just happen organically, or was it like an idea? Like, all right, let's get together and let's create a project.
Oh man, that was such a special time in my life. And at this point now, looking back, I was so much younger. At the time, I thought like it was just going to be a song. I can't remember which song. I don't think that our song we did originally in the studio ever made it to the album, but we did the song, and then one of us was like, "Oh, we could kind of make an album." And it wasn't me. I was originally apprehensive. Like I'm very protective with my art and my rollouts of blah. So I was like, "Oh, that doesn't fit in my schedule." Not in the, that was my ego coming up and pouring out of my mouth, and I was like, "Oh yeah, like we'll see." And so we like just started working on tracks, and we found that we had this flow, and I was like, oh, it's dope tapping in with another artist who's on that wavelength and trusting that process too, and letting go a bit and being like, you don't have full control of the song anymore, full creative control. They were the first serious features that I'd done too. So that was a big moment for me, like a pivoting moment for my career as Owen Ecker. But we started with the one song, and we recorded it at my uni, because they had a studio there. So we did that. And then once we got the demos done at the uni, which is like this hectic studio, but we just didn't know what we were doing. We're just like pressing record and running into the booth kind of thing.
Yeah, taking plenty of pics for Instagram and...
Yes, at the mixing desk, like...
Yeah.
100 channels, like fucking... Where's the play button?
I know it. Yeah.
Like, we used to like go to the studio and be like, where's the sound tech? We need the sound tech. Like fucking for 30 minutes.
I know it.
Yeah, bro. So then we went to Checkmates and we recorded it all at Checkmates. And that's when I kind of got to know Checkmate and his recording process, and we took it from there. And oh man, I could talk for hours about that album, In Our Arms. It's just, yeah.
And it's a cool project. And what I like about it, not just the project itself, but the whole landscape around the project, the launch that you did, the merch that you dropped, the video. There's just, it creates its own like little world. The artwork, like even the song titles, like it just kind of creates its own like gritty, grungy, street rap kind of world. And it's just cool. I love, and I see it all kind of like pieced together, the songs, the merch, and how it all kind of like, it's not just like, oh, let's make some fucking songs, put it on a thing and just put it out and hope for the best. It's like you created a whole little world in that moment. So yeah, it was cool.
Sav's putting everyone on game right now. Fucking, he's tapped in. He's felt the artistic wave and he's grabbed it. That's 100% how we feel, dude. And like me and Rangers are still super close. And
Totally, yep.
we look back on that launch party as the fondest moment of our careers.
Yeah,
and so far. And it's just an example of what can happen when you put the right minds in the right places at the right time. And I'm just grateful, man. I mean, we had 6 people get tattoos, pay for tattoos at that event that we're designed in collaboration with Green Rose Tattoo.
Wow.
And they walked away with like, dude, in our arms, fucking tatted, like on their arm and gargoyles and stuff. And it was just, we had to stay open after everyone had left so the tattoo people could keep getting tattooed. We had 2 tattoo artists on, constant back and forth, like, bro.
Yeah, that's dope. Yeah, that is very dope. That's cool. And it's cool when you can do things like that are kind of outside the box and execute them. And and everyone goes, oh, wow, we did something very interesting, unique, and it worked. Very special. And I love how it's like all 3 of you guys have such different voices as well. You know, true. It's like the voices it's like creating these different angles and approaches for how to rap on the exact same beat. It just it was a great collaboration, and I'm glad that you're able to kind of get past that first little moment of like, oh, I don't know, and just relinquish a bit of control, and because it worked out perfectly.
Thank you, sir. And I mean, I had those moments again throughout the campaign, again and again. One example being, we're at the launch party, everything's going well, everything's happening the way you want it to happen, and then all of a sudden you got to turn around and perform to this room, and you're like, oh fuck, I could fuck this up now. You know, I have to grab this mic, and we'd got my Bluetooth speaker and fucking jammed a bunch of mics inputs into it. It's like we got inputs in it, and we've got a little DDJ there, and we're like, I don't even know if this rig works. Like we haven't even sound checked this fucking mic.
Yeah.
And so you're going to be like, hey, everyone, stop your drinking and looking at the photos and stuff, like, look at me while I scream at this fucking thing. And we all looked at each other like, I don't want to do this. And then we did it, and it was one of the best performances, that we've done with that tape. So, plenty of examples.
Yeah, amazing. So, one thing that I kind of, obviously, I watched the conversation you had with Maloney on the 3K podcast the other day. Shout out 3K, shout out Maloney. Doing actually incredible things. Like I'm very impressed by what he's doing. And anyway, I could talk about that for a while, but I digress. Sure. But one thing that kind of struck me, and obviously that struck Maloney, and one thing that, like I've known you for a little bit outside of this conversation,
Yes,
and you come across as someone who is very, mature. You obviously mention in the podcast, you go like, I'm a serious person, and I like to take things seriously.
I do.
And whilst like, I love that about you. Where does that kind of stem from? Because I gotta imagine, when you see someone, as young as you with the kind of, morals and standards that you have, you got to think, all right, parents must be pretty fucking good. Where does that kind of mentality, that mindset come from?
That's such a good question, Sav. And I'm honored that you're asking me that question. And I really appreciate, and I've said this to you off air many times, I really appreciate that you see that in me. It means a lot. To answer your question, I've always known that I'm capable of more than what I've always seen around me. And I think that everyone who there's a burden of clarity of thought. There's a burden of potential that's given to you once you are kind of awoken to what's possible for you and for the world.
Big time.
And I feel that burden very strongly. And so from that, I act in seriousness and apply a strict moral code and discipline into things that I do and the ways that I maneuver, because if I don't adhere to that, then I'm dishonoring my knowledge. And it's not even in like some noble, brave pursuit. It's just that really hurts. Like that really fucking sucks, because there's long periods of time and, throughout life, they kind of, as you go back in time, I see it more and more, where you don't adhere to what you know is to be true and you don't live up to your own bottom line, and life becomes a cycle of suffering and nothing changes, and the days turn to months to years and they disappear. And meanwhile, you watch people who are doing what you know to be true and possible, and you're like, and you're not doing it. I just can't. That can't be me. I just cannot be me. So I wish I had some thoughtful, poetic one-liner. You know, when you were saying that question, I'm like, oh, come on, Ethan. Surely you've got a good why here. But
with all that penmanship, come on,
I know, right? I know.
Yeah.
But yeah, the truth is that I think everyone operates to their bottom line, right?
Yeah.
Some people's bottom line is just higher than others, and there's plenty of people who have bottom lines higher than mine, and I admire that
Massively.
Yeah, 100%. So I think the seriousness, I don't have a good play button. I don't have there's not a lot of moments where I don't have tension in my body.
Yeah. Okay.
Martial arts is a pretty close example. There's a lot of flow there. I've tried to implement practices that have more flow and less strength and perseverance built into them, but they don't stick as well. I need the resistance to find the stillness.
Yeah. That's a pretty good bar. I need the resistance to find the stillness.
That should have been my one line.
That should have been the one. Yeah. No, but I think it's a good approach. Like the idea of burden of potential, right? Because potential is a very, very tricky thing, right? Like, we get told, I mean, maybe not we, but like a lot of people get told when they're younger that they have a lot of potential, and kids get told, you have this potential. If you have good parents or good people around you, they will try to instill the idea of potential, like you can be something someday. But it's a very big gap between believing you can be something and doing the work to be the something,
Oh man.
And that is a terrifying gap. And that's probably what you're articulating is like, I know this gap exists and I need to fucking do something about it.
Right. But there's a double-edged sword to that. And I know you know this well, Sav, and we spoke about it last time we spoke, but there's a quote that goes, self-belief is overrated, generate evidence. And that's the other thing. That's what we're talking about within filling that gap too, is there's two sides of this coin where it's like there's the ethereal hope, belief, I know that I can do this, and then the burden that comes along that if you have any level of mental clarity that goes, well, I'm not there, I should be there, why aren't I there, I'm not enough. Yeah. And then there's the other side, which is like, I just do it. I just did it. I did it today. I'll do it. I did it yesterday. I'll do it tomorrow. Yeah. So yeah, it's interesting, man. I don't. Yeah, it's a powerful realization to come to, and I think that man, Dave Chappelle had a great moment on stage in his last special where he's talked about dreamers, and he said a dreamer will always recognize a dreamer, and it's so true, and I see that in you, and I see that in other people that I connect with, especially later in life. Yep, and you just see it in their eyes, right? And you're like, you want something. And you feel a part of you deserves it. And those people are special and they do special things. There's no one fucking woke you up this morning and said, Sav, you have to fucking record a fucking podcast or I'm going to kill you. No one said that. Yeah. You woke up, yourself and you're like, this is something that's important to me. It's not easy, to have your setup and to do the messages and the content. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good point. I think I'll say this one little note and then we'll move on. But I think that it's important that people realize, because I tend to, especially around this topic, I tend to think about my own childhood. Like my parents, I had great parents. I loved them very much. They were very loving and supportive. And they often told me that I had a lot of potential, right? But I kind of wish I was told more that hard work and actually doing really hard things is the key to success. Like not shouting affirmations or, telling yourself you're good enough, but like actually doing things that are difficult, that hurt. Like that's the path to victory. So yeah, a little bit more discomfort, but it sounds like you
kind of look forward to it. And based on your chiseled physique, who's gonna argue?
Respect me, praise be to you, brother. Love.
So let's talk about. You were talking about when you were talking to Maloney, you were talking about when you first started doing some writing. I can't remember if you were. Yeah, you would find instrumentals on YouTube, and you would see people writing their bars out in the comments, and it got me thinking about something. Now, I just want to ask you this: did you ever back in the day do like written like battles on like any social media, like typing your bars out to people, like go back and forward over like a like a chat, like a Instagram messenger or something like that?
Nah, I used to root girls on Club Penguin when I was like 6 over text. but I don't think that's...
Do we go there, or do we keep moving?
No, I'm taking the piss. But no, I don't remember battling people on text on Rap Battlestar. I never actually posted any kind of rap in those YouTube comments. I just kind of would watch and be like,
observe it, yeah,
and then write it down in my own notebook and perform it to someone and be like, look what I wrote.
Claim it.
Yeah.
I find it's such an interesting phenomenon. Like when you go and you see everyone writing their bars down. I look at them and I'm like, I don't know what the flow is. So, I mean, it's really like that's where you realize how important voice, they almost can't work alone. Like your voice and the way that you say things and the emphasis has to be as important as the words that you're saying, because there have been like a billion great rappers who can write like perfect, like the bars are out of this world, but no one ever hears them. And there'll be a billion, like great rappers with like great voices and great energy, but because they just say absolute garbage, no one fucking cares about them. So like when you get that perfect kind of mix of like, voice, tone, energy, plus the bars are fucking tight, that's what we're all kind of looking for. And you realize that when you're just reading someone's bars, you've never heard before, you don't know anything about them, you got no context, they're just like some random anonymous name and they're just like spurting their shit online. It's like, man, yeah, it's hard.
Straight out. And I love seeing how other artists write, like having an insight into their back end. When you're looking on that, do they do their notes app? Do they write by pen? Do they freestyle?
That is pretty interesting, actually, when you start to see other people's methods. What's some of yours? What are some of your go-tos?
So I write every morning, first thing.
Yep.
It's a non-negotiable for me for the past few years. So everything you'll hear on Iron Garden and everything you have heard of mine has been written 6 a.m. first thing before I do anything else.
Yep.
So most of my projects are kind of written incrementally through that.
Yes.
That instrumental will be played and I'll kind of keep working from where I left off, and it structures my writing style in a very packed and condensed way, which is why most of the lyrics are like really dense stories or dense wordplay. And I actually get really uncomfortable with things like choruses because you wake up at 6 a.m, it's almost like journaling. I don't want to write about a overall art. Yeah.
Okay.
A hook.
Yep.
But when I go to the studio specifically, I'll usually be delivering that song that I've pre-written. But if I decide that I have inspiration in the moment, I sometimes find that that's my most unique form of writing and sometimes the best songs that I make, especially flow-wise, because I'm free. I'm not locked into what I wrote the morning before and and what time it is and stuff. So yeah, I personally write in the notes app on my phone every morning. I've got one certain delegated page. It's called free writing and it goes for kilometers. And then I broke that notes app, went to a new one, free writing. And then I've got a bunch of them that are song titles.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you're a notes app guy. Does that give you the option to, like, do you ever do any writing when you're out, like on a train or like you're out at a club, like maybe it gets, okay. So it kind of gives you that flexibility to be on it all the time.
100, bro. I need one other thing to be doing. So what I'll do in the mornings, I'll make my coffee and then sit down and write. If I'm on a train, I just need something to do with my with my hands. Even if it's water, I just need something to like drink or just something to kind of pull my mind away to. Because if it's just this and I don't have something I can do with my body as well, my mind it gets fatigued and I start looking at useless shit.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Yep. So yeah, that makes sense. And then was it always notes app? I mean, you're young enough to probably have never needed a fucking notepad, right? You probably had a phone and when you started rapping.
Nah. So it started out all analog and
it did. Okay, cool.
Yeah,
Nice.
yeah. Like when I started writing in high school and stuff, it was always in the back of a school book or something.
Yeah.
But I found that I wasn't able to translate my thoughts as quickly as they moved.
Yep.
Like when I'm in flow, when I'm writing,
okay.
it's cool to like, the communication between my brain to my thumbs is quicker than my brain and my wrist.
Yep.
And if I do get to flow when I'm doing handwriting, I'll be in flow for a few seconds and then I'll stop to catch up with the handwriting and then it breaks me. So that's why I stick to Notes app and it's obviously transportable. But
that's
if a song really matters to me, I study songwriting at uni. And if those songs I will do on paper. And if it's an acoustic song for whatever reason, I'll do it on paper. I think there's so many interesting songwriting methods that I haven't fucking touched that killers have absolutely nailed that are so interesting to try and explore breaking down on paper because it's slower.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot to it. And it's cool it is cool when you say it like that, like to hear about, different people's styles, different people's, angles. Some people love to just get in there, put an instrumental on, freestyle, and go off the back of whatever idea comes while they're freestyling. Some people literally just hit record and just fucking freestyle,
Straight up. That shit is wild.
Yeah, that's fucking wild. I don't think I've ever done that. Nor do I think I ever will. But it is kind of fun. Yeah. So when you got into the writing every day, first thing in the morning, was that a little bit? Did it kind of come from the idea of your kind of fitness journey? Because I see a lot of similarities as far as like the discipline, like showing up every day, like where did that come from? Who gave you the idea to go? All right, I'm going to get up first thing 6 a.m. I'm doing my writing.
My habits are circadian. My rhythm is daily. So if I break one day on a vice or a discipline, I'm likely to follow precedent and break the next day. So I'll spiral upwards or downwards really quickly. So that's the first answer is like when I inhibit a habit, it's usually a daily habit or it's really hard for me to implement a weekly habit, for example. So that's the first part. The second part is that it's time for me. And this was instilled to me recently when I was working in the construction industry and just didn't have a lot of the boxes ticked that I do at the moment, that I'm fortunate enough to have at the moment, where you have 15 minutes, sometimes it's 5 minutes in the fucking car running late to work, putting your belt on. You've got some little piece of time that's yours that no one can fucking rob from you. No one, not a soul. Doesn't matter how you and your partner are going or your parents or your job or your this. You could be a bum at work and a worm at school. But you're in that moment, I was a fucking G. I was me. I'm Owen Ecker. I'm untouchable. I'm Rock Marciano. I'm Jay-Z. And I instill that in myself. And even if I don't write down some hectic bar, I'm still acting in my truest purpose first thing. Yeah. So no matter what else happens, I'm like, at the end of the day, I'm still me. You know what I mean? I'm still got my things ahead of me.
I served 01 Ecker this morning. I get to walk in that power. And everyone else can fucking, you can get it if you really want it.
Yes, sir. And that's just my new bottom line, right? Like, so that's my bottom line. And so I still hit that bottom line. And if I have a shit day, I will have written that morning and I'm still going to feel like shit and I'm still going to write the next morning.
Yeah, that's cool. That's cool. And it's like, it's almost like, because I would argue that is somewhat of a difficult thing, right? Not in a bad way, but to get up and do like a task like that first thing in the morning, I think most people would be like, oh, too much work, whatever.
For sure.
But because it's a difficult thing, the more times you do it, the more rewarding it becomes to your higher self, right? It's like every single time you do it, it's a rep that you get to go, wow, I fucking achieved something today. And even if the rest of the day goes shit from there on out, like you got up and you achieved something that morning.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so it's a great way to start the day. And yeah, great practice. And I think it puts a lot of respect on your craft as well.
Thank you, sir. And I've noticed a byproduct of it, which is that I will never question my writing ability. So if I'm having a bad day and I see someone else's work online and I start to have the crabs in a bucket instinct and go, tall poppy syndrome, I will. It's easy for me to negate that very quickly and go, it's all good. I know I can write better than that. I can write to that level. I can. That's fine. Do you know what I mean? Immediately. There's no second guessing. So all the hesitancy comes from, okay, how am I going to get that video done that I want? You know, it changes the problem. Yeah. I think if the problem was around a question of self-doubting my own skill, it would be difficult for me to achieve the things I want to.
Yeah. And I think that's a really good point, actually. And I know in myself the times in my life where I have been like most insecure about who I am as an artist, performer, whatever, and has led me to think negatively about other people. It's when I'm not doing the work. So if I know that I'm like shying away from my craft, or I'm not putting enough respect on what I do and my journey and the things that I love, if I'm doing that, then what happens is the insecurity projects out onto other people. I start looking at other people. Oh, they're shit. They're not good enough. I'm better than them. But it's just because I'm not doing the work. But if I'm doing the work, I don't have time to fucking look around. Like I got bigger fish to fry. I'm doing my own work,
100%.
Yeah, so it's cool. Two-pronged. All right, let's move on. So in your Spotify bio, it doesn't say a lot. Okay. That is one critique that I have.
Money.
I do have one critique. There's not a lot in the bio. There's not a lot in the bio. We could have some more in there.
So good.
But I will say this. But it does say this. Burn cities raise a tongue.
Yes,
Talk
sir.
to me. What does that mean?
Cutting my teeth, baby. Raise the tongue, iron garden. These are words that I use. Basically, I like combining surfaces, materials, objects, ideas that shouldn't be combined. So juxtaposition. To me, Razor Tongues is from a really early recording of a rap battle in New York, and I heard a kid say steel tongues. He said, "Who want to battle the kids with steel tongues?" And I was like, "That's fucking sick."
Yep.
And I feel like the word razor represents how I operate. I'm on a very thin line, and my words are very sharp and succinct and direct. So Burn City's Razor Tongue, it was like, I'm kind of the one that kind of cuts through all the noise. And I like to think that the work that I do is undeniable, and I actually bank on that being what gets me there and having a strong catalog when I do get to where I'm intending to go to. So yeah, the razor is it's like it'll cut you. You know what I mean? It's like it'll fucking
if you're not watching
exactly where it's going. Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
I'll hit you with the. I don't know if you know this, but razor also has another definition. Well, so have you heard of a philosophical razor?
No.
Okay, so this only came to me recently, but a razor is something that people use, and it's basically like a framework. So the concept of a razor is a philosophical term that refers to a principle or rule of thumb that is used to simplify complex decision-making processes. So in philosophy, people use these ideas called razors to basically give like a rule of thumb to like a decision-making process. And so, yeah, I don't know, maybe that's something you can like look into and learn a little bit more about, because I think, yeah, it's a very... It's got a lot of depth to it. The word I know you already put a lot of depth into everything that you do anyway, but if you want to add a little extra depth, you can look at philosophical razors.
I wish I had that double up ready for you. I wish I had that to serve back to you, bro. I wish I had that. Transparency.
Yeah, but I'm here to help. I'm here to share the love. So
yes,
yeah,
sir.
I think that'd be cool. But yeah, get some more shit in your bio.
Yeah, fucking oath, bro. That's accountability right there.
Yeah.
I gotta get more shit in my bio. You watch my bio tomorrow morning. Everyone, check my bio. When this comes out, look at my bio. It'll be long.
I will. I'll link them up. So let's talk about that head-to-head EP. I remember when this got announced, I was like, bro, like I just kind of like, I love it. Like I love I love music. I love the game. I love rap. I love seeing people do their thing. Like I feel I wasn't always like this. As I kind of mentioned a second ago, I went through a long period of time where I was pretty negative, self-absorbed, egotistical, insecure. Like a lot of things that I've done came from a place of fear. But now I'm, a little bit older, kind of more mature, more present in my own power. And what that has allowed is that I can like be more loving and open and I can see everyone doing their thing and just be like, yeah, fuck yeah, go you. Like go you doing your thing. So when you guys announced this EP, this head-to-head project or whatever you want to call it, and I saw it's like you and Dex, who I fucking love, and then there's a Jimmy Harwood moment. There's like a fucking there's Grief Gang, that the little I just looked at the whole thing and I'm like, this is cool. I just thought it was cool.
Thank you.
So yeah, how did that come about? Whose kind of idea was that? And how, because there's a very Melbourne gang on that project, right?
So true.
Yeah, it's a very Melbourne gang on that project. Talk to me about the head-to-head EP.
I love that you brought up the head-to-head EP. That's fucking cool. Me and Dexter Seamus, it's a 2-track thing. One of them's a drum and bass sound, one of them's a hip hop sound.
Yep.
So I went to Dexter's show. He'd said what's up a few times, and I went to his show and I loved his showmanship. I was really impressed with that. So I hit him up and was like, look, if we want to do something, like let's do something. And he's like, yep, cool. These are the dates that I'm around. And we figured it out, went to Grief Gang's studio, and Grief's always got the heat, bro. Grief's always got something there. I had 100% confidence. He's like, what producer are we going to? I was like, this is the Addy. So we showed up there, and Jimmy happened to be rolling through for a project he was working on with Grief at the time. So, that kind of just all flowed, and Jimmy and Dex have a connection. So man, we were just cooking up in the studio, and that was one of those times when I hadn't written the work.
Yep. Okay.
But here's the flip side. I write every morning to the general's notes in my thing. So the beat's playing, and I'm like scrolling through the general notes, feeling like an imposter, because even though I've done all this writing myself, it still feels like cheating. Like it's like, because it wasn't written to this project, and there's Dex kind of sweating over his phone, and I'm like, fuck.
Combing over them bars. Yeah. You want that pressure. Yeah, okay.
Exactly. So, and then he laid his verse down, and that typical MC thing where you're constantly kind of sizing each other up the whole time.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm not using no fucking bars or anymore.
And Dex don't play either. You gotta come.
100%. You gotta come. And he's good at things that I'm not good at, which is like witty kind of quick pace, like metaphors. Like I'm this like a that. I'm this like a that.
Yeah.
And it's really consumable for people, and it's really easy for people to get.
Yeah.
And I was like, fuck, what am I like her? I'm not like her. Fuck. So we did the drum and bass one first, right?
Yeah.
And then at the end of the session, once we were all loose, I was like, Grief, play us some beats, bro. Like we're all a bunch of artists. And he's just playing beats, and played the hip hop one, and we're like, oh, bro.
Dude,
and we started freestyling.
Yeah.
And so that was actually the only time, and I've done this, but we started freestyling into the mic, doing our verses.
Cool.
And then went home, and I was like, I listened to the freestyle, I was like, that's the one. So then we did the video. It's a dope video, Fast and Furious style, car and bike chase. I'm in the Honda VTEC Type R Integra, and he's on a dirt bike, and we race each other against police. It's wild.
Yeah, it's cool. Cool little project, came together very nicely.
Thank you, sir. Dope.
Yeah, big fan. All right, let's keep it moving. You mentioned, okay, so you in the Maloney chat, you talk about that how you did a thesis on Iron. Is it you did a thesis on Iron Garden? Is that correct?
Yes, sir, that's correct.
Okay, so you do the thesis. Obviously, is that while you're studying, or
Yes.
Yeah? Okay, so you do the thesis, and then you're like, one day I'm going to turn this into an album, or was that always a plan?
Always a plan. It just lined up. I'm still in uni now, and the major project lined up to be able to, I saw them aligning. So I wrote the thesis on Iron Garden, and
perfect.
Yeah, exactly. It was very helpful for me to understand the creative direction of the project and overall philosophy of the movements forward. But it's also just another example of like, I can't, like I wrote the thesis, but I've also wrote a million sponsorship proposals and press kits and releases and things for uni for this tape too, because it's been in my brain for 2 years and I've been at uni for forever. So that's one of the things I've done.
Yep. Did you kind of like in this thesis, what was the like general kind of argument or idea, or was it just kind of laying out the timeline and framework of how the album is going to happen?
It was definitely the hygiene and structure of here's the timeline and here's the how. Yep. But the why was in there too. It was a little bit fluffed up for the sake of a thesis, but it was for sure still integral and honorable. And it was essentially that it's an autobiographical recounts of someone who's stuck in a working industry that they don't feel seen in and doesn't see a way out. So there's a lot of metaphors, obviously to the iron, but to which is the gym and metal work for me, like construction work.
Very nice.
Yeah. So there's a lot of it's a full of burden. So it's essentially what we've been talking about: a burdened individual who's trying to find a reason why they should keep going, and the universe isn't giving it to them because it won't answer your question in a way that you want. When you ask it, if that makes sense.
It's going to answer it in the way that you need.
Exactly. In a long-term game way.
Okay. I feel you. No, that's good. And that's exactly what we need sometimes is like, maybe you don't get what you want, but you always get what you need.
100%.
Sometimes you don't see it. I actually had this fucking crazy realization today. I'm driving and I I'm thinking about a bunch of things that I've been doing in my life and up to this point and recently, and I'm just pondering. I'm like rifling through my brain, like kind of like dissecting some stuff. And I kid you not, it was such like a visceral moment. I go, that's what it is. And like this really big realization just came out of me. And I was like, that's why I'm doing, because a bunch of different things were like not connecting that I've been doing and, spending time on. And I'm like, that's why I'm doing them. And essentially it was like the things that I've been doing where I was like questioning them, they were actually, even though they, maybe in a way kind of weren't what I wanted, they were what I needed because they actually realigned my core vision in a way without me even noticing. It's like I was bouncing off these different moments back to my core thing without even fucking knowing. They're kind of like mini experiments in a way.
I respect that hugely.
Yeah, it's crazy. And it just came to me today and I was like, wow, so cool. All right, cool. Fuck yeah, go me. Go universe.
So dope. So, and yes, go you. And the universe rewards that behavior, right? Like, that's the thing. When you're doing these things where you're questioning yourself and you're like, is this a risk worth taking? And you get paid back 1,000,000-fold. Bro, even meeting you, like I wouldn't have met you if I didn't start up at Absolute, and I wouldn't have done that if I didn't have a moment where I was like, you know what, my bottom line isn't high enough. I need to raise the bottom line. Okay. And that's a reward that's reaped again and again, and that will continue to happen.
Yep. So is that that's where your training, like your martial arts training started? Because you were like, I want to, level up a little bit or?
I started in primary school doing black belt, doing karate. Sorry. So I became a black belt in that at the end of that kind of lineage of 8 years or something. Yeah. And that actually learnt me a lot. I don't reflect on it very much, but I competed in sparring and in kata. And for those who don't know, kata in karate is essentially like yoga. It's like a slow choreographed dance that, mimics a fight kind of vaguely.
Yeah.
And I learned a lot, I think, of the discipline through there. And I had a good relationship with my sensei and the other people in the team. Yeah. So when I went to MMA, and then I did a year of BJJ and MMA in Berlin. And then, so when I'd come, I was kind of like warmed up to it.
Yeah.
But it wasn't a part of my identity.
Yep. Yep. And did you decide kind of early on that you wanted to try the MMA, like throwing it all in there? You're pretty keen to get right in there and try that?
I'd heard good things about Absolute. I knew a few of the boys that were training there, and I didn't want to stick to one discipline because my goal wasn't to get a new baby. My goal was to like throw myself into a situation where I could kind of test myself and level up.
Yeah.
Which,
Yeah.
to be fair, like a singular discipline would have served me in a similar way.
Yeah.
But yeah, again, the intention wasn't to become better at karate or BJJ or whatever. The intention was to engage in combat.
Yeah. Man, I really want to get good at wrestling one day.
Yeah.
One of these.
know,
Fuck, I
same.
would love to be able to just wrestle cunts, so just fucking grab a
yeah.
motherfucker and wrestle him, you know?
Straight up, bro. And I used to think that about BJJ, and I still do. I think about it more time. I think about it all of it, right? But
Yeah.
I think about it with BJJ because it's so calculated and mathematical, and I've never really got to over the learning curve of it where I'm like in flow.
Yes.
But there's something about wrestling that's just so fuck you.
Well, it's very
just like,
it's very primal, isn't it? It's like it's
yeah.
probably where all combat and martial arts started. I don't know. I don't think like if you think about the first amount of combat that ever happened, I don't think it would have been like a punch or a kick.
So true.
It just would have been like, I'll fucking put my hands on you and I'll just take you to the ground. Like I just want to throw you to the ground. It probably would have been something like that. And then we've
100%.
realized, actually, I've got these fucking weapons.
Dude.
They're called fists. You know, maybe I could use them as well. Yeah, start throwing in some jabs.
Bro, the first guy to ever punch would have been like, oh shit. And he's just like,
boys, look what I just found.
Yeah, we can have whatever we want for free.
All them
just like
wrestling
Street Fighter,
motherfuckers.
just-
Yeah.
Yeah.
God. Okay. Yeah, hectic. And then
they found
now,
knives and guns, and then we all fucked up.
Yeah, we're all in trouble now. And that's a crazy thing, right? Like you could be the most expert martial artist on the planet, but as soon as someone pulls out a weapon, it's like, man, really?
Bro, straight up. And even the
can't-
size difference.
Yeah, I can't just
know?
kick. You won't just let me kick the shit out of you?
Right. But I trained so many years.
I've trained so many years
Yeah.
for this
I was
moment.
ready.
Yeah. Oh God, that's so funny.
Yeah.
And it'd be funny if you could just like ask them as well. It's like they get out a knife and you're just like, bro, come on, bro. I've been training my whole life for this moment. Can you just put the knife away?
Or like go like this with the knife really slowly. And
Yeah.
I'll do my routine.
I'll do the movements. Yeah. I'll do my little. Yeah. I'll take the back. I'll choke you out.
Let's workshop it.
Yeah. Have you seen? You know, James? I think his name's James Smith. He's like a fitness online coach, YouTuber guy, pommy guy. Does like a lot of content around gym and fitness and men's health and BJJ as well. He has this skit where because I think he might be a purple belt, but he has this skit where he's like walking down the street and these two robbers come up to him in like balaclavas and they're like, all right, mate, give us your fucking wallet, give us your phone, all that stuff. And he goes, all right, boys, give me a sec. And he takes his shoes off.
Butt.
And he gets on his butt and he goes, listen, guys, you know, I've got a sore knee. I've got, you know, he starts like listing his injuries and then he starts shuffling over to him.
Let's go.
So good.
100%. Yeah. And I mean, even like we said there with the size difference too, right? Like you can be, I mean, we watched, there's been plenty of those kind of novelty cage fights. A pro small fighter versus like a heavyweight nobody. It's like,
Calm, bro.
You know, but it's not about that at the end of the day. Hey, it's like the things you learn from martial arts are applied to yourself and experienced through yourself. They're not applied to how you impose yourself on another human.
Totally. And I actually like martial arts for me is nothing to do with another person. Like I fucking
exactly right.
Like sparring's I don't mind sparring, but I actually really don't like hurting people. And so even when you're sparring, like I really don't like throwing. I've never really actually banged with someone. I've got fucking, you know, whacked a couple of times in boxing, boxing sparring,
Well,
but
you had
not
a boxing match.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's true. I forgot about that. CTE. No. Joking. I haven't done enough. I haven't sparred enough to get punched in the head hard enough times. But even just a couple of times, I'm like, this isn't fun. This person's like really trying to hit me in the head, and it's just not fun. I just don't like it. I just don't have any violence in me.
Considering that fact, would you be willing to share some insights from your boxing fight, how you felt on the lead up to and what your why was?
Yeah. So going into that fight, the whole reason I did that thing is because I was lacking a lot of discipline. I was lacking discipline. I was lacking kind of self-belief. You know, yeah, confidence was low. Confidence was real low. And I just started training at that gym. And they go, "Hey, you want to do a fight?" I never in a million, billion, quadrillion years thought that I would fucking do a fight. Like
Wow,
so far away from it. Like, it's just not me. I wouldn't even spar, bro. Like I don't like punching people. I don't like being punched. Like I love the art. I love the movement. I love the patterns. I love the technique. I love the, you know, there's so much I love about it without the actual punching someone. And I know that's a big part of it. But yeah, it's a massive part of it. But yeah, I just loved it enough without needing to do that. But where I was at that moment, I was like, I really need some discipline. I need some direction, and I need some confidence. Like my confidence was really low. So I signed up. I started the training camp, and then I was very, very blessed that one of the guys that was in the camp had done the previous fight night, and he basically said to me pretty early on, he was like, he didn't say it directly to me, but in the way that he talked to me and he described his last experience, he basically said, give it everything you got. Because when you get to the end of the 12 weeks or whatever, and you step inside that ring, you will have wished that you fucking went harder in training. You know?
I love that. Wow. Yeah.
And so I just went, holy shit, I need to drop everything. I need to drop everything, and I need to fucking go balls to the ball. Like I did it. I barely talked to a girl for like 3 months. I didn't touch alcohol. I did nothing but train and mentally prepare to step in the ring and punch someone and get punched. And I just, I gave it everything, and I still lost, but at least I lost and felt good about losing.
Oh, man, yeah.
You know, I felt good about it. So leading up to it, I was terrified. The first sparring session we did, that guy who gave me that advice actually took my head off in sparring, and I got dropped for the first time in my life. And and it was very confronting. And I remember calling I called my little brother, and I'm like I was after it, I was like shaking, and I was, you know, close to tears pretty much. And I was like, yo, I cannot do this. This is not for me. Like I was like, I seriously thought I'd made the biggest mistake. And he, you know, to his credit, he gave me some great advice, great wisdom. And he basically told me to shut the fuck up and get back in there. And so I did. And I eventually went through with it, and, you know, it fundamentally changed my life in so many different ways. And I'm so thankful for the experience. And I cannot recommend it enough to anyone. Like if you're listening to this and you have the opportunity to test yourself, to get into a ring and fight, like please, I implore you to do it. And I'll tell everybody and anybody this, because the things you learn about it's nothing to do with fighting. It is everything to do with the mental toughness, the fortitude, the perseverance and resilience that you get. I pretty much said the same thing 4 times. But what you build in yourself in that process, no one will ever be able to take away from you. And it's really special. So yeah, fucking loved it.
That's beautiful. Thanks for sharing that, Sav. It sounds like when he told you needed to put everything into it and you realized what was at stake, you immediately earned what you were searching for in the beginning with the discipline anyway.
Totally. Well, and this is a funny thing. He actually didn't say, you know, this is what you need to kind of put in. He said in the last camp, he didn't take it serious enough. So that's why he was doing it again. Because he was telling me that he was like maybe doing a bit of smoking. He was drinking a little bit. Like he kind of, and by the time he got to the night, it was like too late to like redo any of that. Yeah. So that's why he was doing the fight again. And he basically, when he told me that, I was like, holy shit, I need to pull my finger out.
Yeah.
So yeah, I left no stone unturned, and you know, super grateful for the experience. So yeah, I guess that's kind of the lesson is like, you know, if you're gonna do something, fucking really go all in, leave no stone unturned, because when you get to the end, you will have wished that you had done something else,
100%.
but it will be too late. You know,
100%. Yeah, I agree with you entirely. There was a moment. I'm with a I've got a beautiful partner at the moment, and I'm very blessed and grateful. And when we first started going out with each other, we had come from very different dating histories, and I was blessed with an emotional intelligence that allowed me to communicate very clearly to a significant other what I was and wasn't able to do. And we got to a point in our relationship before we kind of became who we are today where we were not, we hadn't closed the book. We weren't like official. We weren't whatever. And I reached an emotional blockage point where I was like, I'm forecasting here that I'm going to start, if this wall's up, when I reach this wall that I'm about to see, I'm going to bounce this way. So I just got to let you know, if you want to lift that wall up, have a think about it. I don't want to deliver you an ultimatum, but I have to forecast this to you. And, God bless her, she lifted the wall up and here we are. But I had to, in that moment, I had to know that I'd done everything within my capability and power to be as true and honest with myself as possible and with her, that if she decided not to lift that wall, I was going to bounce and still be me and still be like, that's why like.
Still be good.
Exactly. You losing or winning that fight isn't the key part of that story. You know what I mean? It's like you knew that you could hold your head on your shoulders and go, well, I fucking did it. That's all that matters. I gave it everything I could do. And the funny thing is when you give it everything you can do, the universe conspires for you to be able to achieve your goal.
It does. 100%. So beginning with the end in mind is essentially what we're saying is like, having the forethought to go, what am I trying to do? All right. If I'm trying to get to like B, then I really need to consider what I'm doing here at A and what it's going to look like on the way over to B, so that when I get to B, I'm going to enjoy it for what I believed it was going to be. So, and I think whilst like it's okay to kind of like go on a whim and enjoy things for what they are and not really forecast too far ahead with some things. It's fine, like to bounce around, but I think if there are opportunities to begin with the end in mind and to really go, all right, where do I want this thing to go? Like I think it's for a lot of things it's beneficial, and I think too many people don't do that with anything.
Agreed. Type A and type B people, right? I think the problem with the type A person is they assume that their problem is work rate, and it's not. It's a leverage problem. Yeah. And type B people, it's the other way around. They assume that they're doing enough, and they're not. Yeah. And I think just to flip side that coin of that type A personality trait, it's like so easy for people who are hustlers to just hustle and get stuck in the busy trap and just be doing things to tick a list off and not have that end goal in mind. They just can't afford to not be busy, and that's me. Yeah, I can't. If you ask me what's doing, I'll never say, "Oh, just chilling, bro." Because if I was just chilling, then it's because I wasn't doing what was on my list, and that's like a shame point for me.
Yeah,
so it's like,
well, that's that burden that you're talking about. Like,
I know, right?
You can't be sitting down chilling because I got this fucking weight on my back that tells me that I've got to achieve this potential. And if I'm just chilling, then I'm not doing that thing.
Yeah, I'm not the fucking chiller. I'm not the kickback dude.
It's stressful. I mean? How do you kind of manage? Because this is something that I struggled with when I was younger, was to manage that feeling, that moment with actually being in love and having a partner. Because like I often would go, like I struggled with it at points where I was like, I'm talking to a girl or I'm in a relationship and I'm like, wait, why am I just doing random things with this person when I could be working on music or, whatever. And I'd create this divide in myself that would just tear me apart and I would do neither thing well. Because I know. I would do neither thing well. I'd be like anxious about not doing the work, and then I'd end up like annoying the person in the scenario. And I would either way I would hate myself. How do you manage that? How do you balance that?
It's hard, man. You know what they say, jack of all trades, master of none, right? Yep. And I think that often we eat the seeds of the fruit that we eat the fruit of the seed that we haven't yet planted, and we just kind of live off, and we were talking about this earlier, living off telling people ideas and their reaction to your great idea, and then just living in this kind of false reality where things are half cooked and half finished.
Yep.
And And I think there's something to say about not leaving the table until you finished eating.
Yeah.
And that there's going to be more than one hump, right? Like there's the initial learning curve where it's not enjoyable. It's just a task to understand. And then once you have a level of competence, you feel like, oh, cool, I'm on the path. And then you hit a roadblock after that and you're like, oh, it's the wrong path. I need to pivot. But, you know, again, there could be a diamond right behind the dirt. It's hard to find that balance. And I'm still exploring it, and I'm looking for someone to give me guidance on it because it is difficult. I can't tell you how many failed businesses I have, bro. I can't tell you how many fucking ABNs and domain names I've fucking started. Fuck me.
But here's a beautiful thing. Like I was saying a moment ago, they're all experiments. They're all tests. They're all like, you know, it's not a failure. It's like a step closer to what you are meant to be doing and the actual truth of it. It's, you know,
but just to contrast that, mate, yes, I agree, you know, and that is a helpful perspective to look back on and not punish yourself for. But maybe one of those things was the thing and I just pivoted out of weakness.
Pivoted too quickly, yeah.
Right. Was my pivot out of fear or love? Was I pivoting out of apprehension or because I saw something else that was going to be a brighter future? Like, who knows?
Do you know what the beautiful thing is, Echo?
What, brother?
One day you die and it means nothing anyway, so fucking should be right.
Yeah, fair dinkum. But Sav, when men like us die, many people remember us for generations onwards. Because that's the thing. Like, we know maybe like, dude, I don't know the list. I'm not going to say an imaginary number, but there's an amount of people that we will know consistently. Shakespeare, for example. Yeah. And then there's not many of those. Other than that, it's kind of like a few generations and then you disappear. And that's cool. That's beautiful. We can't control that. But I want to like, you know, keep that as long as possible. People going,
what's the number?
What's
the number? Like 200 years, 300 years, 400 years? What would you be happy with? 500 years?
I reckon once you get past 100 years, you're timeless. That's what I think.
Yeah, okay.
But I think that the tap for timeless is closed off because of the frequency of media that we consume with social media and how that's only going to expand and grow. So, you know, the people that chiseled their name into stone, so to speak, throughout whatever, World War II or the Roman Empire, they're going to stay there. And I think all of the fame that exists in this world now is going to dissipate incredibly quickly. You're going to have to be, I think, like an Elon Musk to be referenced in those sentences. But we do what we can to inspire others, because along the way, while we are in this human vessel, like the amount of other people that you inspire and then that chain reaction, that's money right there.
Well, I like to think of it like this. This is kind of like how I'm basically trying to live my life. And I tried to do it when I was like younger. I didn't do a very good job of it because I was a bit of a fucking cunt. You know what I'm saying? But the idea of it's called the funeral test, and it's something that I heard Ty Lopez talk about like way back in the day. But it's the funeral test is basically you know, beginning with the end in mind. So thinking about like when you die, right? How many people show up to my funeral? Is it just like 2? Is it 3? Or is it like 300? Is it like they shut the town down for the day, you know? Like was I that good of a person, and was I that genuine in every interaction that every single person that I've ever had anything to do with shows up because they're like, do you know what? He left me feeling pretty good about myself, so I'm going to make the effort to go to that funeral. Yeah, that's kind of how I want to think about it. Yeah, that's kind of how I want to measure it. Like, how many people are coming to the funeral? Anyway, we've got real fucking esoteric and philosophical out of nowhere. I don't know how we got down there.
I knew we would, Sav. I knew we would.
Yeah, but I thought yeah. Anyway, I knew we would. Let's get back to Iron Garden, because
yes, sir.
That is the name of your album.
Yep.
The album is coming out, you know, we believe about 5 or 6 weeks away from the time that we put this podcast out.
July 30. Yep.
July 30. Okay. Or where are you in terms of like, you know, you think about the spectrum of things that are required to be done for an album, the music, obviously, the music videos, the merch, whatever exists on that spectrum. How much of it have you got done? Yeah, let's start there. How much have you got done?
We're at almost exactly 50% through the campaign at the point of time of recording this podcast.
Okay.
When this drops, we'll be about 75% of the way through the campaign. Again, July 30, it becomes available on all streaming services.
Yep.
In terms of my own to-do list, I'm about 80% of the way, with most of just the fun stuff to do. So that includes like showing up, picking up vinyls, pressing, screen printing, all the merch myself.
Yep.
That's next weekend. Most of the deposits have been paid and the press releases have been sent out and all that kind of itsy bitsy admin stuff. So we're at the fun bit now. And like I said at the beginning of this podcast, it's a turning of a page, which I'm really excited for.
Yeah.
So
what do you mean by that?
Well, I mean, for 2 years, I'm laboring, moving concrete and whatever the fuck I have to do behind a hive is thinking of this and thinking of what this launch party is going to look like and who's going to be there and who I'm going to meet. And now I'm talking to the people that are going to supply the kombucha for the fucking launch party and the weights provider that's going to do the training day with me and all of these cool moments. And it's just, it's important for me to live presently through, because I'd planned it for so long, and if I blink, I'll miss it and I'll go straight back into my next project that induces its own suffering.
It's a good point. Yeah, you got to be present. You got to be present for this next little period of time. Be as present as possible, because if it's something that you've been thinking about for the last 2 years and working towards and slaving over and doing all these hours, earning that cash so that you can pay for all this, then you better fucking enjoy it. Yeah. That's cool. So all right, so that's what you mean. So that you're in a really good spot in terms of that. So you got merch pressing to be done, vinyl pressing to be done. Any more music videos that we can expect, or is that kind of like still you want to keep that hush hush? That's cool.
There'll be more music videos. Yeah.
Yeah.
So between now and when this drops, I will have screen printed every piece of merchandise by hand. So that's high-vis jackets, metalworking gloves, beanies, hats, and a big Carhartt style kind of denim jacket.
Yep.
So we will have done all of that screen printing. I'll have the vinyls in my hand, hopefully by this point too. I played the test presses today for the first time and heard myself on wax for the first time ever.
Really? That's
Dude,
exciting.
What a moment, man. That was really special. So that's where we're at in the campaign. So there's going to be an opportunity, if you want to invest in Owen Ecker and to give yourself to a piece of this project through merchandise and through vinyl, and obviously through attending the campaign events, which there'll be a couple.
Okay. Yep. And are you planning to do launch party, listening party kind of thing before or after it comes out?
August 3rd will be the official launch party. Everyone's more than welcome to come down. There'll be a whole bunch of good crew there. I just got confirmation today that we got Burn City Rum sponsoring it. And you'll like this one, Sav. Remedy Kombucha.
Oh!
Yes, sir.
Fuck
for the
yeah.
non-alc drinkers, bro. So
damn.
Yeah, it'll be good. There'll be some good heads down. That's August 4th.
Yep.
4th. Not
August
3rd,
4th.
I said. August 4th. It's Sunday, the first Sunday of August. That'll be after the streaming drop.
Yeah.
There is going to be a private listening party for people who purchase the album.
Yep.
So I have yet to kind of announce that directly, but that's going to be something that happens. So for people who buy into the project, I want the people who buy in to know how much it matters to me. Like, I reply to every comment, obviously every DM. Like, I want people. People who give something to me, I appreciate it. It means the world to me. So I want to find valuable ways to give that back. And there's also going to be a third event, which we've spoken about off camera, which doesn't have a solid date yet, but involves, being in your body and being strong and instilling discipline.
Which would be fucking cool.
Gee.
You said in the chat with Maloney, the barrier for entry to words is very low. Do you remember saying that? And
Yes,
what do
sir.
you mean by that?
I mean that we live in a world that's populated through people's opinions, and the barrier of entry for people to share those opinions is incredibly low. The barrier of entry for action is incredibly high.
Right. So
it's
people
what we
can just search. Yeah, I guess
Exactly.
that's kind of what we've been talking about. Like,
Right.
you can say I'm going to show up, but you actually showing up is a very, very different thing.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And again, you won't get hated on by people who are ahead of you. The people who are spending their time doing the talking, it's not the people that are that you need to be worried about.
It's so true. And like, think about like, and this is why this is like, I always am thinking about the analogies and the parallels to martial arts and training. You will never see like I mean, not never, because, you know.
I got you. Yeah.
Yeah. But you know, for the most part, I think when you're like a highly trained martial artist or you're a highly trained martial artist, there comes like with that, this sense of, there's not like a real urgency. It's like there's a sense of composure, there's a sense of discipline, there's a sense of patience. And I feel like that confidence leads you to kind of move slower. Like I saw this great video that kind of explained it. And it was like a professional, an amateur boxer. He's just been training for like 3 weeks. He bumps into someone and he kind of like riles up. He kind of, you know, whatever. And then the next video is the same two people, but it's a guy who's been boxing for like, you know, 3 or 4 months. He like hits a guy and he kind of like, you know, he's like, whatever, bro. And he just keeps moving. And then it shows a professional boxer who's like, you know, super decorated, super disciplined, super great fighter, knocks in, the same two guys run into each other, and the boxer's like, sorry. Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry, brother. I'm so, you know.
Yeah.
And it's so true. It's like I could probably murder you in 7 seconds, but
bro, yeah. Thailand's
like that
the land of smiles.
Exactly. But that has nothing to do with it. Like I'm just I just don't need to move as fast because I'm confident in who I am. And the funny thing is, the people who are the like loudest and the people who like the most aggressive usually and you know, who feel the most important are generally people who are like very undisciplined, who are very untrained, who are very you know, it's really all it is ego. And I think
100%.
I think through martial arts and through applying yourself to any discipline, really, you kind of train the ego out of you because you got to over a long enough period of time, showing up and like really putting in reps, the ego has to disappear. Otherwise, you can't really do the work.
You can't learn.
You can't learn. You can't do the work. You can't strengthen the muscles that are required to do, you know, big important things. So, yeah, generally it's people who are, you know, got kind of little man syndrome that are usually the ones that are loudest.
I think that I know. Sorry, we'll move on. But I think that you can track where you're at on your own journey of undertaking a certain craft or discipline or movement or undertaking by how adequate you assume you are at it. So, like for example, I can imagine myself being Top Gun. And being like, I'd be a fucking sick fighter pilot. Yeah, like I'm fucking, that's me, fucking roger that. Yeah. You know, but when I think about me being a pro cage fighter, I'm like, oh, it would be impossible. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, okay, yep.
It's like, it's a good way to measure because
you got the perspective. Yeah.
100%. And so the people who aren't playing this game that we're playing with music or with content or with fitness or with whatever, exactly, are going to be the ones that want to talk because in their mind, they think they're a superhero. You know what I mean? In their mind, they're fucking Mr. Beast. You know what I mean?
It's the best part is, the best one is like when you see, there's a meme that'll pop up every now and then of like, you know, guys who are, it's like the mind of a guy who's untrained and he's like, and by the way, like just caveat for anyone who's listening to this podcast, I am not fucking trained, okay? I just like training. Right? I'm not good at it. I actually am not very good at all. I just fucking love martial arts, all right? So fucking give me a break. No one try me. But yeah, the quote is like, in the head of a guy who's untrained, he's like, bro, you know, you don't want to see when I go fucking red level, bro. When I see red, bro, I max out. Like I everyone here, it's over, baby.
It's lights out, cuz. When I see red, bro, it's done.
I just go to a different level,
place,
brother.
Bro. I'm a different guy. Like I'm not this guy anymore.
So funny, man. I love. And do you know what's actually funny? I used to think like that. I'm not even joking. Like when I was probably in my mid-20s, when I had a lot of anger and I'm like very insecure, you know, like there's a lot of fear inside of me. I thought that as well. And it's such a small mindset. And it's like, you're exactly right. The more I train, the more I realize how little I know and how little power I would actually have if I was confronted by the real thing, you know?
Straight up.
So it's very humbling. And that
So
humility I take with me everywhere. I don't
100%.
fucking, yeah.
It doesn't leave you, bro. You get swamped by some dude chokes you out, puts you to sleep. You can't go around the rest of your day being like, I'm the fucking, you listen to me.
Yeah. You got to get humble real quick. So tell me, 01 Eka, are you living your personal journey?
I love it. Yes, sir, I am. I've created a life in which I can be proud of, and I've endured many sacrifices along the way in order to take it to where it is now. I intend to see it through to the very end. You could chop off my arms and legs and I'd find a way to write in the morning. I'd probably find a way to get it to your ears as well. So it's what I'm here to do. It's my mission. I'm here to complete it. No matter what, Owen Eka will live on in my own existence and also hopefully in the minds of others.
Fuck yeah. I'm gonna, because I actually fucking butchered that, so I'm just gonna say it again so that when I cut the short together, I can actually say the right thing. But what I meant to say was, are you living your personal legend? Because it was a alchemist. Because I heard you mention the Alchemist somewhere the other day.
Yes.
And I was like, because I'd only just read the Alchemist recently.
Word.
And so when you read that, I was like, I gotta ask him about the personal legend. Because
I love it.
Man, it took me so long to read the book as well. Like I think I started it maybe like 4 or 5 times. Because everyone would tell me, oh, you gotta read the Alchemist. You gotta read the Alchemist.
Have you read the Alchemist?
Yeah.
My moon's in Virgo.
Exactly. And retrograde. And then I go off and I start reading it and I get like, a couple pages in and I'm like, I don't know, I can't do this. Fuck this. Yeah, this far out shit. But I finally got around to it and I read it and I'm so glad that I read it because it's a great book, great read, great insight. And honestly, just like such a beautiful idea. I mean, such a beautiful idea.
I'm not a big reading person. I was able to read that because of its narrative aspect. A lot of the books that I lean towards, or at least am eager to read, have to do with self-improvement. So I end up burdening myself with all these fucking textbooks, essentially. And I lose my love for the book. The only other book that I've read that's narrative that I've dived into and allowed myself to is Shantaram. Have you read Shantaram?
No. What's that about?
Well, anyone who's out there, Shantaram's a real-life recollection. It's a large book of an Australian criminal from Melbourne who broke out of prison, went to India and worked with the Bombay Mafia. And it's just a wild recount of stories. And it's just such beautiful writing, You can follow the dude online. You can look up Shantaram. He's actually got a YouTube channel where he talks about moments from the story. And it's been turned into movies and TV shows on Netflix or whatever.
Wow.
But read the book. It's a beautiful book, and a lot of people in my life recommended it to me. I think my father gave it to me. But anyway, I'm sure you get a lot of book recommendations for me, Shav.
I'll give you them at a later date. You've got an album.
To me.
You got an album to focus on. But Shantaram. Okay, cool. Well, I'll get that off you and I'll link it below if anyone's interested in checking it out. But personal legend. You're out there, you're living it, and I can see it as well. Super cool, super dope. And I mentioned this to you kind of like the other night. It's like so cool to, when you meet someone, and it's like, oh, they're a lovely person. We get along. We obviously have a good connection. But then they're out there and they're hustling, they're grinding, they're doing their thing. It's like it's just nice. It's very nice and rewarding. Like it's not even me that's like, getting the benefit, but I still feel good just watching you and watching people do that. Like same whenever like I get no benefit from like watching Sam fight, but seeing him train and the effort that he puts in and the lengths that he goes to for his training and the commitment to his vision and his obsession and all this shit. Like I get a lot out of it because I know what is required to like live a life that looks like that. And so I just there's a lot of admiration and respect for, anyone doing these kinds of pursuits that are also good people. It's like you
100%.
can't be a cunt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
100%. And I think that speaks to your character, Sav. And I feel that way too. Watching fighters is a great example because it's so visceral and in the moment. But also watching creatives as well, playing a more long-term game. I find, great inspiration in watching people do what they do. Like we said earlier, dreamers recognize dreamers. And I think we're a rare breed and an unbeatable kind. And it's funny because if we were going to Mars or something and we only had 20 people to bring, would we bring a musician? It's funny, right? Because it's like we're a rare, we build
right at the back of the line, baby.
Right, 100%. We're right at the back of the line, but we build culture and we build, and I'm talking about artists in general as human beings. Like you can't build a uniform without having someone do the tailoring. At what point does it turn from art into just ticking a box? People that make custom exhaust pipes for cars, like are they welders or are they sculpture artists? You know what I mean? It's where do you draw the line? And
Yeah. I had a mentor, probably in my early 20s, musician, super talented guy who basically was a professional. He was a professional guitarist and bass player in London in like the 70s, and
cool.
Did session work. Played with all the biggest stars in the world, like toured internationally, done all this crazy shit, right? Anyway, he's living in Australia, and we kind of end up meeting randomly, and he's much older than me. He's probably like he's probably mid 60s by now, but around then he was in his mid 50s. Anyway, I'll go to his place and we record, we work on stuff, we talk about life, and at that point, I'm like, I was that person who I was describing earlier. Just I had no fucking idea who I was and what I was doing, right? But I'd go there and we just chat. And one day he goes to me, "What would you do? What would you do without music?" And I wasn't sure if it was rhetorical or I was like, I don't know, I probably wouldn't. I don't know. I just had like some rambling, stumbling, mumbling, bumbling answer. And he goes to me, "Do you know what I'd do? I wouldn't want to fucking be alive." And he said it so like,
"One more fucking be alive."
I wouldn't want to fucking be alive.
Have you heard me say? Yeah.
He's a very very strong, British accent. But yeah, he was so like serious as well. He's like, "I wouldn't want to fucking be alive." And I'm actually pretty sure he pointed. He was like, "I wouldn't want to fucking be alive." And I was like, yeah. And it was so powerful. And I'll never forget that. And it just like shook me. I'm like, oh my God, this guy really loves the music.
100%.
But I guess, that's what's required because, what is, I heard someone mention this once. It's like, all the people who are like, think about the leader of any industry, the person at the top of the finance game, tech game, whatever, sport, what do they do in their spare time? They go experience art or they listen to music, right? They, with their free time, like, what do you think fucking Elon Musk is doing? He's going and putting a record on. He's listening to a bit of like, probably Bob Marley or whatever. Like he's vibing out somewhere, hitting a bit of kush. Like that people, it doesn't matter how famous and rich you are. It doesn't matter how high up the food chain you are, in your spare time, you are probably listening to music. And that just speaks to the power of it and the importance of it. So yeah, you're out there, you're living your personal journey, and it's your personal legend. I fucking said it again. You live in your personal legend, and it's beautiful to see.
Thank you, sir.
Eka, I'm aware of the time. I think we've had a beautiful conversation here, and I really appreciate you coming on to the Sav Show, and I can't wait to see the rest of the rollout, and I can't wait for everyone to fucking see what you do, man.
I can't wait for everyone to see what you do, Sav. I appreciate you having me on the show. Huge thank you to anyone who's listened through to the whole thing, everyone who's watching the Iron Garden campaign, and there'll be many more. So tap in. If you want to tap in, now's the time to tap in to both Sav Show Pod or O1 Eka. Strong men are rare, and good art is rare, and clarity of thought is important. And you have no other option than to consider your purpose and to chase it and hunt it down, baby. So that's what we're here to do. It's all love,
Big time.
respect, salute. Let's get
Eka,
it.
I'll speak to you soon, brother.
Respect, brother.
Let's go.
Let's go. Let's go. Hunt it down, baby. Go win the day. Hunt it down.
Let's go.
I love it.
See you, mate.
Respect.
All right, bye.
Anyway, guys, that's it for the chat with 01 Eka. I really hope you enjoyed that one. I personally love chatting to the bro. Whenever we get a chance, it's just all love, and I see the way that he moves, and I have a lot of respect for what he's doing. And you can just see the conviction and the seriousness in which he takes his craft and his art, and I have nothing but respect for him and for the way that he's doing it. So yeah, go check out his album coming out on the 30th of July. That's Iron Garden. Go follow along the journey of 01 Eka. It's one worth watching for sure. Anyway, guys, thanks for joining me on the Sav Show one more time. Hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and if you're listening on Apple or Spotify, please leave a review. Let me know what you thought of the conversation. It all helps. Just any feedback is great. So yeah, I really appreciate it. Anyway, guys, that's it for me. I'll catch you next week on the Sav Show. Let's go.